Today we launch into the 7 sight reading secrets. The first one is looking for patterns, rhythmic and melodic patterns. I'm going to give you some examples from elementary level and intermediate level literature. The first is a Kabalevsky. What's the same about measure 1 and measure 2? That's the first question I would ask the student. And they begin to see, I want to lead them to discover that there's a pattern there. That there's a, what is the same about measure 1 and measure 2? Well, the rhythm is the same. The direction and the intervals are the same. Oh, well, what's different? Well, it starts on it's higher. It's 1 note higher. It's a second higher. So that's all that changes. And so then I say, well, maybe after they've worked on it a week or so, what is the 1 note that's most important in that next measure? Well, it's the first one, because if you know that first note and you know the pattern, then you can just play the rest of them, you see. Now, obviously, you have to go through the whole piece and make sure the pattern really holds, okay? But if they can look at and just keep their eye mostly on that first note, the moving note, then it cuts down and they have 1 thing to process instead of 6 notes. 1 thing to process, and that makes things go a lot faster. Here's another little light piece. The left hand has a little pattern that's repeated, and then it goes up higher and does the same thing, a melodic pattern again. So I just, especially if a student was struggling with memory on that, one of the things we can help with memory for students is analysis. So when I was doing some of that today, so just help them see what's there, understand what's there. Here's a piece from my classical collection, my teaching articulation book, a Couperin piece, the last one in the book. So you have a pattern, and here, the same, only different. It's not quite the same. But there's a similarity. And I think there's a lot to be said for pointing out similarities and differences. I think that's a good way to teach things. Now, here is a Bach Little Prelude in D minor. And up comes the sequence. As I was thinking about what I was going to share with you today, I talked to my student about that sequence today, and I realized a sequence is a kind of melodic pattern, is it not? Sure it is. So pointing those things out, not only do I want them to know what a sequence is, because I want them to be fluent in musical terms, but it also points out the pattern and makes it easier. So any patterns you can spot for your students, when you send them home with a new piece, help them see the patterns first. If they come back and they're struggling, see if there's some melodic or harmonic pattern that'll help them catch it and understand it and learn it faster.